Hello, YouTubers. This is Joe Kersey here on December 7th, 2013, around 2 in the afternoon here on this Pearl Harbor Day remembrance. We may be playing Confuse-A-Sensor here for a while, sort of like Confuse-A-Cat, the great Monty Python sketch Confuse-A-Cat. We had about not quite 4 inches of snow over the last day. Actually, interestingly, the bulk of it late afternoon and into last night. The early part was wet, and then the top part was powder on top of sort of a layer of gritty ice that had happened earlier in the day after an interval of, we had an interval where we didn't have anything. So the trees were actually a bit more weighted down than I had talked about yesterday, but they've melted off. I went down thinking I'd shovel off the end of the driveway down there, and it looks like maybe I did, but I didn't have to. So that's just as well, because even though I had girded myself up with beta blockers and an extra aspirin or two, after the first couple of loads and lifts there, I could tell that this was not what my physiology wanted to do today. So we've put the kitty litter down here on the icy doorstep here. So we'll be tracking that into the house off and on the rest of the winter, but that's all right. It's better than falling down and making yourself into a vegetable, isn't it? Okay. Well, you've seen the front, you may as well see the back here. It's very pretty, isn't it? You got well, it's just very pretty. No. There you go, there's the sewer pump lift station over there, which at night it's lit up. I joke about it and I call it, I said it looks like the secret police headquarters. So I did shovel off the porch a bit. After I made my reconnaissance foray down to the end of the driveway, I thought, well, I'll try to get the weight off the deck here, because in theory we're supposed to get something more tomorrow, but I have no idea where it's going to come from. Oh, we got ducks and geese down there now. They're all happy here. Here, we'll give you a little shot down there to where the ducks and geese are on the creek. I don't know if you can see them or not, but they're down there having a sort of a duck and geese moment. Well, they were. They swim upstream. I wish this were smell-o-vision. That's kind of a tribute to John Waters. If you've not watched any of John Waters' movies, I urge you to go out and find them and buy them and watch them. If you watch nothing else by him, you must watch Pink Flamingos. Oh, what a classic movie Pink Flamingos is. But the smell-o-vision reference comes from a movie that he did. I can't remember the title of it. It's another one of his wonderfully depraved works, in which when it was shown in the theaters, it came out with, it actually came out with, I think, 3D glasses and also a card that had like scratch and sniff panels on it. So that when something happened in the movie, then there'd be a little thing that flashed up, scratch panel 4, and then they'd scratch it and sniff it. But the stuff on the stove right now is another batch of beans and lentils, and I just put the seasonings in, and so the house smells magnificent. Unfortunately, you can't smell it, so if I'm looking unusually benign and happy, it's a result of the wonderful odors wafting about in here, thanks to the 4,000 watt heater fan that you saw in the background in that last shot. Now, I guess there's some species of football entertainment on here today involving Ohio State and Michigan State. But it starts at 8 o'clock in the evening, and as people who watch me know, I may just not be up for that. I might be laying a chair in the chemo chair, because I'm planning to go to the 8 o'clock church service tomorrow, because Thomas and Kelly and Carter said they might come up tomorrow if the roads are okay and it's not horrible weather. And that would be wonderful, and so I want to be home in time home in time for their arrival, which of course I should be home, absent some disaster, by 9:30. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss some other good things going on at church tomorrow. I want to listen to the curator / collector who mounted this art exhibit in the church. I want to go through his walk around where he gives the talk about each of these pieces. But he does that weekly, so I can still do that next week possibly. And then Emmanuel Twesigye, who is a Episcopal priest from Uganda, who teaches religion at Ohio Wesleyan University, he took a group of students back to Uganda, or over to Uganda. He goes back there once or twice, sometimes 3 times a year, because his family's still over there. Idi Amin didn't want to kill his family, he just wanted to kill him. That's why he fled the country in the late 70s, or whenever Idi Amin was being horrible. But he goes back, and he has some sort of international, he's the president of some international organization now, too, that promotes, understanding between Africa and the West and so forth. Anyway, they're going to do a presentation at 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, and I would like to have heard that, but, I obviously want to be with my family more. Well, one doesn't it? Ideally. Unless their family has eschewed them. For whatever reason. But I digress. And hint at areas better left untrodden today. So I actually got 8 hours straight sleep last night. Thanks be to God. And then I read my various newspaper digital versions on the computer, the stuff that I have access to, and that's good. And then I did some, of course, after that I get to treat myself to YouTube, and I discovered a couple of new YouTube guys, and Uh, one fella's probably he's probably now around 19, and well, he's in Great Britain. He's in England. He's in the English part of Great Britain, and he grew up in the south of Great Britain, and he moved to the South Lancashire area, and what's interesting about this guy didn't go to university. He didn't go to what we call college here in the United States. But he clearly, in his 16, 17, 18-year-old years, he had a job. He had a job when he lived in the South. And he's clearly found a job when he moved up north. And here's a guy that's essentially self-supporting at the age of 19 with a relatively decent job. He can buy all sorts of this stuff. He's got his own place, or an apartment or a flat or whatever, and that's something I think would be very hard for folks here in the United States to do. Although maybe not, because I think we all know guys that have done that, or been told that that's their expectation, and that got me thinking back to when I first went over there in 1971, and this was something that the fellow I traveled with, he and I remarked on this a lot. You'd go by building sites and construction sites, and you'd see guys on lunch breaks, and they're guys our age. They were guys our age or even younger, and they're sitting out reading. They got their thermos and their sandwiches, and they're reading. Some are reading the tabloid newspaper, but some are actually reading reasonable, decent books. And I've been back now. Well, I was there in '79. I was there in '81. I was there in '95, and well, '95 we didn't see it quite so much. But clearly, here's a guy that's, in 2013, he's out on his own, making his way, and there are a lot of British YouTubers that are clearly, living off the largesse of the parental teat, but this guy clearly isn't. I was impressed. I was. So I'll be interested to hear what this guy, listen to more of what this guy has to say. Well, that's my enthusiasm for today. I'll keep soldiering on with NT Wright here, and going to enjoy adding lots of goodies and stuff to these beans and stuff tonight, so I'm looking forward to that. Alrighty. Bye-bye, YouTubers. We got our big bright light out there now.